Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We're back again. It's another weekly edition of the Benta Club SA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Welcome back again. You're joining us on Facebook. That's at the Benta Club SA, and on YouTube it's the Benta Club, and of course on Twitter it's at the Benta Club SA. My name is Mohau Mushapo, and we'll be together up until the end of this episode, of course. But I'm not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am definitely not alone. And the guys who are joining me, we've got Jakey. Jakey, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm great, man. I'm happy. You know, as Yellow Nation fans, we're always happy. We're always winning. We're always smiling. Everything's just great, except what's happening in England. Got that red team. But other than that, I'm happy, man.
And while you're still happy on that, try and fix your camera, Chief. Your the levels are on most of your eyes as well. But
You see, okay, no, can you guys see me now? Let me just fix it. Technology in future. You must understand. Yeah, is it better? I think it's better now. Yeah.
I think it's better. We should say loud and clear. We can see you, brother. On the other side, we've got Mark as well. Mark, how are you doing, my brother?
I just have one word for Chelsea. Yes, top of the table. I'm just saying, top of the table. No man, I'm good. It's been a while. Haven't been here in a long while, but good to be back. Yeah, man, ready to dissect the sporting world.
And why does it look like the suit came Manchester United?
No. It's burgundy. It's not red.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Burgundy.
Okay.
Yeah. Must recognize it has no logo. It just has the flower. Yeah, we don't mess around with that other team from Manchester. With Bruno, who's lacking self-confidence because the other better Portuguese is there. You know, you have Jesse Lingard sitting on the bench. By the way, always down for doing that. So that team is very sad right now. So, love and light to all the Manx.
Hey, Mo, just to remind you, the Proteas is playing tomorrow. Can we get to the real thing?
The real of the day.
I can't.
So the thing that we'll be talking about rather, it has to do everything with the cricket. I mean, the ICC T20 World Cup is upon us, and of course, we know that the big game is tomorrow. The Proteas are playing tomorrow, so we'll talk about that. But we know that there's been a couple of games that were being played the past 2 days. I mean, those are the qualifiers, but as they say, the real World Cup will start tomorrow. So we'll be looking at what's happening and what to expect rather from all those teams. I mean, it's a World Cup that we know that we have our favorites, but at this moment in time, all of us we are not sure which team, which country will take this World Cup. But let's hope for the best, especially when you look at the Proteas. And I think, if I have to guess, the Proteas, I think, will come back with this trophy. Do you agree with me, Jackie?
We've spoken about this so many times. I do not have any expectations for the Proteas. Maybe it's a good thing. Because usually, whenever we going to a walkabout or any ICC tournament, I'm always confident that we are the favorites to actually win that tournament. But with what's been happening in the last couple of months in the boardroom and on the field, maybe they might surprise us. But hey, the fact that they're playing against Australia, the opening game, it's going to be very, very difficult. But they've had a proper thingy, a preparation in the warm-ups. You see some good performance there and there. So I just hope and pray that when they get into the real thing, they can perhaps also get something positive, because they have a lot of pressure. They have a lot of pressure to actually start winning something, because we all know that whenever we go to tournaments, people always say that we are well known as the choking team. So I'm expecting something at least. Let them show us that they can prove a lot of people wrong, and also being led by a player like Temba Bavuma, who a lot of people, if South Africa does not perform at all, they're going to attack him dismally, because you know how it is when it comes to black captains in this country. They're going to start comparing them to previous captains who did better, even though they have not won a tournament before. But I am expecting them to actually surprise us if it's possible. But if I'm going to be realistic, I don't see us actually even reaching the knockout stages.
Mark, if we look at Group 1, which the Proteas are within that group, you have the team which were, I think, the best team from A1, and then you have, that is Group A, and then you have the second best team from B2, which is B2 from Group 2, and then we have Australia, we have England, we have South Africa, and of course, the last but not least, we have West Indies. Group of death, if you have to agree with me, Mark.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a bit tight, but I think if it really comes down to it, you have England, world number one, you have South Africa, who has the ability, you have Australia, which they haven't really performed so well in the recent past. It will be an interesting group. I think teams should be really careful of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is actually a solid side. So it's going to be a tough group. Yeah, I think it's clear that it's going to be the top of the two groups, because the West Indies can take the game away from you on their day, but again, not the strongest. So I think looking at this group, you have England, you have South Africa, you have I would say possibly Bangladesh. Those three teams will probably be fighting it out to see which one actually gets the top two places in the group. So it will be very interesting. But South Africa again, I'm still questioning the selection of the squad. I still think, as much as Dwayne and who's the other guy, the two all-rounders, I think Andile Pachukwayo just offers a lot more, man. He's a better bowler, and he has ability with the bat to actually take the game away from you. I still question that selection, but who are we? We are not selectors. And also, they got rid of coaching Enoch Nkwe, so close to the World Cup as well. So we'll see how that goes, because I still think he should have been in the driving seat as a coach. Mark Boucher, he's just the guy who was the wicket keeper, and he also got angry at an article I wrote a few years ago, which I don't know why he got angry, but hey, got me a few likes.
I think we should give Coach Mark Boucher an opportunity to respond to what Mark is saying. We invite Coach Mark Boucher, if you are perhaps going to watch this, to respond to Mark, because it seems as if Mark Nkare, he's got something to say to you directly.
Listen, I will say things to him every day.
When was that?
It was a few years back. I wrote an article on News 24. They used to have the voices section. So in the article, it was during a time where we were going through a rough patch, and I questioned the selection of Alviro and Graham Smith as an opening partnership, because I felt like at that time we needed a fresher approach. Graham Smith was struggling for runs. Alviro was even worse off, and I had said that, you know what, Graham Smith captain, keep him in the side for leadership reasons, and then switch Alviro out. And he got angry on Twitter, and then he attacked me and said I must lose my job. But the joke was on him, because I was not getting paid for that gig. So, you know.
And Jakey, Mark would has agreed with me that Group 1 seems to be a group of death. But I mean, if we look at all those countries, obviously right now as we speak, we can hear that England and India has been the favorites to win the World Cup. But I mean, you cannot rule out the likes of West Indies rather when it comes to the World Cup, or rather winning tournaments, because I mean they seem to have that instinct of winning tournaments. Yes, they might not win games, but tournaments, they seem to have that thing of winning tournaments. And of course, I mean, Australia, here and there, they might come up and step up when it comes to winning the tournament. So this group, you can tell that it's quite a difficult group to be within. And I mean, are we likely to win, to get out of this group?
It's very tricky. You know, I agree with Mark. If you look at Bangladesh, guys, if there's one country that is drastically improving, that is, it has to be Bangladesh. I saw the T20 games that they played against us. They were exceptional. You can see the direction that they're moving in, and slowly but surely they could be competing with the best. And don't be surprised if they surprise us and actually go get a spot and go through to the next knockout round. But at the same time, we shouldn't also forget the likes of West Indies, because West Indies, if I'm not mistaken, they're the defending champions, and they beat is it England in the previous final. I think it was in India, if I'm not mistaken. So they have the players to actually win you games. So if you look at the kind of team that they have, they can perhaps get something from this and actually go out to the knockout stage. And majority of the time when they get to the knockout stages, that's where they start gaining a lot of confidence, start winning new games. And going back to what Mark says, the situation of Petlakwa, you know, I've always said that, especially when it comes to the T20 format, your number 6, your number 6 is very much crucial. And if you have a proper all-rounder who can get proper runs for you and get you proper wickets, then you have a better chance of winning something. And South Africa, for so many years, they've been struggling to get a proper 6. And I was really, really surprised when I saw the squad, and we don't even have the potential to actually win something from it. Because if you look at the way in which we are going to approach this World Cup, it's like it's a thing or that, okay, fine, let's just go there and compete. But now the question is this: do you have an end goal for this? Do you want to win the tournament? Because we can't say always every single tournament and say that we're going to go to the tournament and just go and add numbers. We need to start competing. We are amongst the best teams in the world. And for how long are we going to wait for a World Cup? So it's very, very difficult. But like I said, they might surprise us. As Mark also says that we are not selectors. Maybe there was a reason why they chose those players. So, but like I said, if we're going to be realistic, I still think that the defending champions West Indies are going to take something from this, are going to perhaps go to the knockout stages. England and Bangladesh. I'm not so sure about Australia, because Australia has not really been a strong T20 side, particularly when it comes to the World Cup. So they don't really have a great track record when it comes to the T20 World Cup. They prefer more of the 50 overs. So, but England, the fact that they reached the final of the previous T20 World Cup, they also are going to be the favorite. West Indies, because they're defending champions and they've got the quality to actually get something, they're also going to be. But I still think Bangladesh is going to surprise a lot of people from this group.
Mm-hmm. And Mark, before we move on to the Proteas, I mean, we still have 2 spots within Group 1. If we look at Group A, you have the likes of Sri Lanka, which are leading, sitting at position number 1. You have the likes of Ireland on position number 2, and then we have Namibia on position number 3. In position number 4, that's Netherlands. Out of these 4 countries, which country will be joining Group 1 as the winning country within that group?
Oh no, the groups have been finalized. So let me just go through the groups quickly. So you obviously have Australia, Bangladesh, England, South Africa. Then Sri Lanka and West Indies have made it there. And then in Group 2 you have Afghanistan, India, Namibia, they won yesterday, so they're in there. New Zealand, Pakistan, and Scotland. So that is Group 2. So both groups have been decided. So Namibia got the nod there, as well as Scotland. And then in Group A, which was Sri Lanka and West Indies, that got into those groups. So the groups were decided just yesterday. They are yeah. So on their website, they already have the groups up.
So basically, in Group A, we do have Sri Lanka in Group 1, and which other country joined us?
West Indies.
All right. And by looking at all those countries, do we still have a chance?
Look, as much as it's the tough of the two groups, I think, again, as I said, Australia is very beatable at the moment. So if we start well tomorrow, and we get the first points on the board, I think the only team that will be then standing in our way would be England. Bangladesh will be tricky, but I think with the West Indies, we've beaten them previously in the previous tour that we were in the West Indies, so we should be able to do well there. We should be able to easily beat Sri Lanka. I think the three tough games will be Australia, Bangladesh, and England. But if tomorrow we can start off with a win, I think we can definitely take our chances for the semifinals. I think we stand a very good chance. And in the semifinals, it can be anyone's game. But we'll see if we choke on a sweet potato or not.
You mean tough game? You've mentioned that against Australia. Mind you, the first game for the Proteas is against Australia, which is tomorrow at 12 p.m. Jakey, you spoke about us being classified as chokers. Can this be our World Cup? And before you comment on that, if there's anyone else who want to comment on our social media platforms, that's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can give us a comment. We'll definitely see it right on our screens. And if there's a question maybe you want to ask us, we'll definitely answer that. But you can send those comments through on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at the Banter Club. Remember to use the hashtag the Banter Club SA. Jakey, let's look at the next game, rather the first game for the Proteas up against Australia.
Yeah, man. The thing with Australia, and we've been saying this, the thing with Australia, they don't look convincing. They're also going through a patch where they're just trying to rebuild something, try and get to a proper team that can actually compete and win something with regards to the T20 World Cup, of course. But I think on the day, South Africa has the quality to actually beat Australia. And if we start positively against Australia tomorrow, we can gain some confidence from that, because after that, it's going to be tough games. Because if I'm not mistaken, the next game is against England, if I'm not mistaken, after Australia. So it's going to be very, very tough. But it's also going to depend on what Mark Boucher and the rest of the technical team going to do, because I think right now it's a question of, can they inspire the team to actually compete and win something? Because like I said, a lot of people are not expecting anything from the Proteas because they've been so bad the last couple of months and they've not been positive. So if they surprise everybody tomorrow and actually go with the mindset that we're going to compete, not only compete, but we want to win this game against Australia, and they be consistent enough to win those games, they can actually go get one of the spots for the semifinals of the World Cup. But at the same time, we should also be realistic that them selecting certain players, is that going to benefit us? Because remember, we're playing the subcontinent. That's another issue that a lot of us tend to forget. We're playing the subcontinent pitches, so it's going to be interesting how they're going to approach the games in the subcontinent. Are they going to be very, very cautious? Because South Africa has always struggled the first couple of overs in the T20 World Cup, particularly when it comes to subcontinent pitches where it requires you to be very, very cautious because the ball just gets out of nowhere. So I still think that the fact that also we played majority of our games before the World Cup in the subcontinent may benefit us. But like I said, let's see what they have for us tomorrow when it comes to the starting team that's going to play against Australia. But I think against Australia, we may get something positive.
And I mean, Mark, if we look at the Proteas team, Lungeki did mention today that they're quite in a positive mood. Are we likely to win the first game against Australia?
Look, I think again, as you said, I think if we look at our lead up to the World Cup, we've had quite a very good streak of results, and that should say, I think on paper we should be able to beat Australia, but again, once tournaments start, there's a different nervousness about the players. There's a different approach sometimes, and I think it's going to be important that they keep to what has worked in the last couple of games. So I think it's going to be important that they keep to what has been working. And again, as Jackie has said, the power plays are going to be very important. Even Aaron Finch said that in one of the press conferences that the power plays are going to be important because that will probably decide who wins the game. Whoever takes advantage or better advantage of the power plays will be able to probably put in basically or gain control of the game. So it's going to be very interesting, but I think we should be able to just pip the win. We have players that can win us games, and if they step up, I mean, we can definitely get the result that we want. And as I said, if we can get a result against Australia tomorrow, we definitely can set ourselves up for the semi-finals. It's going to be important because if we lose the first game, then we have a mountain to climb. Then games like Bangladesh, games like Sri Lanka, all of a sudden they become tricky. Then we're going to struggle to now get into the game and actually just beat them. So if we win, we're in the driving seat. Then whatever happens after that, we're not under pressure because the first points are on the board. And the fears of getting knocked out are not basically they're subdued. So I think we should be able to win. Australia has not been the greatest T20 side since the inception of the game, and which is funny because they're the guys that actually came up with T20. So it's interesting.
You know, just also add on what Mark is saying. The key thing here, we've played at the UAE for so many matches the last couple of months, and that to me is a bonus. And they already understand the kind of scenery or the kind of environment or the kind of pitch they can expect in the United Arab Emirates. So I'm not expecting them to give us a lot of excuses. What could be tricky is the match squad on the day. On let's say they may perhaps go with an extra bowler when they're supposed to have an extra batsman. That could be a difference. So those kind of things that it's going to go back to the selection of the squad. Could we have perhaps we should have decided to get an extra batsman or an extra bowler, or perhaps get an all-rounder just to accommodate both. So it might be decided on those small things that we have been touching on for the past couple of weeks on the fact that there's a lot of questions with regards to the match squad. That did we take a strong team that can actually win us the tournament, or do we take a team that is actually going to just merely compete? Because if we're going to take a team that's going to just merely compete, then we shouldn't have an expectation. So it's going to be very interesting on how they're going to approach it.
So guys, I mean, do we have the experience that we need? I mean, we could talk about Themba Bavuma being the captain. It's his first time when it comes to the World Cup. And we have a couple of players who have been part of the under-19 team, and they know the ability of winning a World Cup. Do we have that experience of winning that World Cup when it comes to this T20 ICC T20 World Cup?
First of all, Mohau, you need to have won the World Cup to have any experience of winning the World Cup. And right now, yeah, we don't really have anyone who's won it. So we'll see, man. I think hopefully guys like Ngidi who won the IPL will bring in the experience of actually winning a T20 tournament. You have, because the team is largely, it's experienced in terms of T20s, but they're not the most experienced side in terms of like being in the South African setup. Actually, Temba has been in the South African setup for quite a long time. Yes, he's played more tests than been in the test setup more than he's been in the limited over setup. But I still think it will be interesting. But as I said, guys like David, guys like Quinton de Kock, Kagiso Rabada as like the senior figure. I think if they come to the party, we definitely have a chance. The experience, so you can say it's there, but yeah, tournament wise, is it there? Not sure.
What are we saying? Are we saying that we don't trust the leadership of Themba Bavuma? Don't we trust the knowledge that the likes of KG and Markham have gathered during the under-19 World Cup?
Yeah, but Mark, but Mohau, remember this. When you're playing for the senior team, it's a different ballgame altogether. That's why Mark, even at the beginning, did say that couldn't they have selected maybe players that have played in the T20 World Cup at least? Maybe one or two players that have been in that kind of environment, that have been there, that have seen the pressure that comes with playing in a T20 World Cup. Because look at this, Bavuma now has a lot of pressure. He has never captained a team that is going to play in a tournament or in a World Cup. There's already a lot of pressure, but because the likes of de Kock are there, that could help him just ease the pressure there and there. But could we perhaps should have decided that maybe have one or two experienced players that have been in the that have played in the T20 World Cup in the last previous tournament or the last two tournaments, or even if you don't have those players being part of the thingy, part of the team, but being part of the setup at least, who can advise? Because I do know that, if I'm not mistaken, I think JP Germany is also part of the advisors for the T20 World Cup team. But is that enough? I do not know. So it's very, very tricky, man. It's very, very tricky. So Mark Boucher here isn't a difficult one, and I still think that if he does not perform here, it's done. He's gonna lose his job.
Should have lost his job a long time ago, but anyway.
but you never know. If he surprises everybody and he wins the World Cup, Mark is gonna come here on this show and say that I apologize to Coach Mark Boucher and retract everything that he's been saying.
I will never. First of all, if he wins the World Cup, it's down. Remember, as much as unlike any other sport, the captain in a cricket team actually plays a bigger role than any other captain in most sporting codes, because the captain actually makes decisions every single ball, and he makes decisions for a good 2 hours. Where in football, really, what decisions are you making? Where to kick off? The decisions are not as big. Cricket captains literally are coaches. So if he wins the World Cup, then it's going to be down to Themba, and it's not going to be down to Mark Boucher. Mark Boucher has been. Mark Boucher is not someone who we should be looking for inspiration.
But his CV will say that Mark Boucher coached a World Cup winning team. So just give him a chance, man. Give him a chance. I think this, to me, is his last opportunity to actually do something. But I still think he's not the right man for the job. He's not the right man for the job. But what can we say, man? The World Cup is here. Let's just see what they're gonna offer us. But I am still worried, man. I won't lie to you. I am not confident. I'm just gonna watch the game tomorrow and just pray that we do well. Because if we fail to even get something from this, I just want us to at least reach the semi-final, at least, or maybe reach the final and lose. It's fine. At least you know what I'm a finalist. It's something.
So, Mark, let's say we fail, we don't win tomorrow's game. Are we likely to beat West Indies and Sri Lanka, which are the next 2 games?
It's tough, né? T20 is okay. There's a bit of a method to the madness, but the thing about T20 is that the game can be taken away from you like within like 5 overs. But saying that, I still think yes, it's very possible. But again, remember, if we lose the first game, there's a big chance we're going to lose the England game. Because England, remember, they're world number 1, we are world number 5 when it comes to the latest ICC rankings. So technically speaking, in that group, we are second favorites to win the group after England. So, I mean, you lose the first game against the 7th placed Australia, makes things very difficult for you, because then that means your room of for error is that much smaller. So that means, yes, you have to win the games against Sri Lanka. You have to win the games against who's this, West Indies, and you must go out and beat England in order to ensure that you have a chance to go to the semifinals. Remember, only 2 sides go through. So if you lose the first game, you're under pressure immediately, because if you lose another game, your chances of getting through are very slim. And we are going to be South Africans again. We're going to take out the calculators and say 2 + 2 is at 5. We're not sure. And then that's when you know that things have hit the fan.
What should we do? The World Cup is here. The team has been mentioned. There's nothing we can do. What can the players, what can Themba Bavuma as the leader do so that the Proteas, we can see the Proteas winning this World Cup?
He must call Siya Kolisi and ask him, how did you win it? How did you win the Rugby World Cup? He must call Siya Kolisi, because that is the only way. Even the things with T20 guys, T20 it's very difficult. It's very difficult because, like Mark says, it changes very quickly, very, very quickly. So from the first ball to the last ball, you need to be spot on. You understand me? So like I said, the power plays are going to be very, very important. And I remember, it takes me back to the tweet by Herschel Gibbs during the week. He said that it's going to be interesting to see how the batsmen are going to approach the power play this time around. Are they going to just remain very cautious, maybe just target maybe 50, 60 runs at the power play, and then start playing after that? Because if you look at the history of South African T20, if I'm not mistaken, Mark will add on if he wants to add on. Tell me if I'm wrong. South Africa is not being great when it comes to power play. In the 50 over game and the T20 game, we tend to be too cautious. You understand me? We tend to be very, very cautious. You can't say power play, you're going to aim for 60 runs. You understand me? When you know that you're allowed to express yourself, go for it. Go for it and get a lot of runs. And you know that the players that are coming behind you are going to just come in just to add on. 20, 30 overs from those players can make a massive difference. So it could be a kind of a tournament where power play is going to be very, very crucial. If we're going to say that in the power play, we're going to be very, very cautious and expect to get some runs the last couple of overs, then I can guarantee that South Africa is not going to perform well, and we're not going to get proper runs. And we should go for it, man. Go for it. But now it's going to require our top 4 batsmen to actually start very, very well. So the likes of Quinton de Kock, the likes of Bavuma, they need to get the runs. And that's the only way we're going to win this World Cup. Because now, if you even look at the team itself, the way they're going to approach it, it's as if they're not going to rely on an all-rounder or a number 6. So meaning that they're relying on the top 5 batsmen or the top 4 batsmen to actually get some runs. And at the same time, the pressure is also going to be on the likes of Kagiso Rabada to get the runs. Get the wickets. So the pressure is on, man. I still say that power plays are going to win us the World Cup if we do get the runs from there. If we don't get the runs, forget. And because the likes of India, the likes of West Indies, the likes of England, and if you look at the previous World Cup, how did West Indies win the World Cup? How did they win it? How did they win
Martin Braithwaite.
You see, how did they win it? So we need to make sure, man. Make sure the first thingy in the power play is that we get some runs, and even if we do not get enough runs at the back end of the overs, then we know that when the likes of Kagiso Rabada come into the picture, they've got some runs to work with. You understand me? Because if I look at the warm-ups, average-wise, the scores that I saw was 140, 60. So it's going to be interesting if are they going to be cautious or are they going to now be explosive? And South Africa is not well known to have a lot of explosive players, and hence we do very well when it comes to test format than ODI and T20, because we are naturally a patient team that likes to just hit the ball, just get 1 or 2 runs there and there. But T20 needs you to go for it. And if you don't go for it, we won't win anything.
I'm Manjeki. You are warm and you are cold. And I saw a comment by Una saying yes. I'm not sure if he's agreeing with you or what.
No, that's a first. If Una is agreeing with me, it means that it's true. You tell me. You see. But how? What's the thing is with me, ne? One thing I know about the team, the quality is there. The quality is there. I can complain about the squad, but the quality is there. On the day, can they bring out the quality? Hence, I'm saying that Bavuma is going to be on a lot of pressure. Can he now compose the gents and tell them, guys, as much as we're on a lot of pressure, we need to remain composed. We need to go for it. Because, guys, I don't know 50 overs or 5 days. Like, guys, come on. 20 overs, it just goes very fast. And majority of the time, let's say if tomorrow we win the toss and elect to bat first, I'm expecting them to be very explosive. I'm not expecting them to be very cautious. You understand me? So I still think that we have no excuse not to at least reach the semi-final. We have no excuse. We have played in the UAE before. We know what to expect, and this are the players chosen by the selectors there who believe that this team can win us the World Cup. So let's believe in them. Let's believe in them and see what they can do. But it's gonna depend on our approach.
You know what? I'm really glad that you seem to have quite a good confidence within the team. And to anyone who would like to send that comment, just like our very own Una, who happens to be not available tonight, you can send that comment and it will appear just down there. Whether you send the comment through YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, it will definitely appear, and we will definitely read it, and if it's a comment or it's a question, we'll answer that question. Mark, I would ask you the same question that I've asked Jakey concerning the Proteas, to say that we are here now. The team has been mentioned. What needs to be done? What should these players do to win the ICC T20 World Cup, which I think has been long overdue for our team?
There's so many things that have been long overdue in that team. Anywho, it's really simple. They need to perform. David Miller needs to ensure that he actually comes in and he plays his game. Quinton de Kock needs to play his game. Bavuma needs to lead from the front. Performance. KG, we all know what he's capable of, so he must just ensure that he plays his game. He shows that. It's going to be crucial again. Like we said, power play is going to be important. They need to ensure that they get early wickets. Early wickets in T20 generally stifle teams, and you'll find that if you can get the first 3 or 4 wickets within the power play, you will definitely win the game. And I think just going into the tournament, South Africa should just probably always bat first. We are not good at chasing scores down. Historically, we've just never been good. So I think definitely let's ensure that people perform. Bat first if you can. I think we're much better setting targets and afterwards defending them, because we have the bowling attack to do it. We have Shamsi, who will be busy calling people off his boot, which is weird. I don't know why he does that, but it's cool anyway. Yeah, man. It's. I think the guys must perform. Shamsi is the #1 bowler. He must come to the party. The track in the UAE, it can be quick. As we've seen when Pakistan played there, it's seamer friendly, but we know because of the conditions, it might be a bit slower, maybe going down there. So so it's going to be very interesting, the type of wicket you get, because in the last game we saw, I think the last tour we saw that the pitch was quite seamer friendly. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but I think definitely going forward, guys need to pitch up. They need to ensure that they perform, and they need to ensure if they do get to the semi-finals, they need to ensure that they perform there again. I mean, we need guys to put up their hands. It's never happened, especially in the T20 World Cup. Our biggest achievement in the T20 has been a semi-final. We didn't go out of that semi-final looking like a team that deserved to be in the final the last time. So yeah, we definitely need guys to step up, guys to ensure that they need to be counted. I mean, we have so many players who won the IPL. Now we just need to step up and actually bring them together and win the World Cup. Will they win it this time? I don't know. We'll see.
BMT.
And I mean, I think I would want to also find out from you guys that which teams or which country do you think is your favorite looking at this World Cup? Because if I have to choose, I have 2 of my favorites, and I think South Africa. Hopefully, one of the 2 will win this World Cup. And I would really want to find out from you guys which team or which country do you think is likely to take this World Cup. We're talking about the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup. Jakey, I'll start with you.
Hey, no, I do not want to be diplomatic. I love my country. I love South Africa so much. But for me, I still say the West Indies and India. I think that those 2 are 2 teams that I think may win this.
And I wanted to say the West Indies, but something said no, man. Just say South Africa again, just to give them luck.
Maybe Mark will agree with you, Kamuzanzi, but hey, I'll be happy if they prove me wrong. But India, the fact that technically they're at home, You see, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, technically they're at home. So I'm not expecting them to struggle that much. And the quality is there from the IPL. So they can do very well. The West Indies, the fact that they're defending champions, the fact that they were born for T20. Let's be honest. The West Indies were born for T20. So I think they might win this tournament again.
Come on, Mark. Protea Fire.
The flame goes off.
You guys know that the King Protea is immune to fires. So it's crazy how this Protea fire is burning. Yeah. But anyway, I think I'm going to be a cop-out. I'm going to say between India and England. The guys that run the ICC, it's very difficult right now to go against them. India has played probably the most T20s of any country because it feels like every 5 days they're playing a T20. So they have Virat Kohli, they have Shikhar Dhawan, they have your Rohits. So I mean that India side is so good, man. It's really, really good. England, I think, yes, they are world number one, a bit overhyped. But they right now they are pushing cricket. And remember that with us, our cricketers didn't play all of last year, if I'm not mistaken. Most of them had to, because of COVID, they had to sit at home. And they played bits and pieces because again the quality of the local game was very questionable. So going forward, I don't know if that's going to really be a factor, but yeah, I mean, guys, India, there's England. They've been playing since last year, and they've been touring, so they've gotten used to the idea of touring again. So we only started recently, and we don't know if it's going to be something that shows us up when we get to the tournament. But for me, I'd say England and India.
We should fire you guys from South Africa, guys. We should just fire you guys.
When I shouldn't say anything, yeah.
Yeah.
The process these days, same WhatsApp group. Oh, the old Bafana. The old Bafana. Not this Hugo Bruce Bafana, but or is it too soon?
Okay, remember to send those comments on Facebook. You can comment on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we'll definitely read your comment or even show it on the screen. If it's a question, we'll definitely answer that question. Guys, I think we've reached the end of our show, but before we leave, firstly, last words concerning this ICC T20 cricket.
Protea Fire. As much as I said that I'm not expecting them to win it, I'm still going to support the team. I love my country. And they might just go there and just go and compete and to win tournaments, surprise everybody, and win against Australia tomorrow and take it from there, become consistent, and let's see where it will take us. We shouldn't go there and just become the whooping boys again and choke like we're well known for. But other than that, I pray that everybody is having a lovely night, and I pray that they have a great weekend. I know there's plenty of sports over the weekend. The DSTV Premiership continues this weekend, and then obviously the ICC Cricket World Cup tomorrow at 12, and then the biggest team in African football plays tomorrow at 3:30. At
this
famous
is a cricket episode. Let's not stop talking about
but it's closing remarks. Why are you guys like this? It's closing remarks. I can't tell him. Okay, it's cool.
We'll come back to you, Mark. Anything else that has to do with ICC T20 Cricket World Cup?
I think it's good, man. This will be a good tournament for us if we can win this tournament, or if you can get into the finals, the semi-final or the finals. I think it'll set us up for maybe future performances in the 50 over game, or even in the Test Championship, because we've been struggling. So I think this would be a great boost if they were to win it. This would be great for Temba Bavuma's legacy as a cricketer. Guys like KG, I mean, they are world beaters. They deserve to be world champions. So we pray and hope. But yeah, manga,
definitely we would like to wish the Proteas all the best. I mean, hopefully they will get to win the trophy. And I mean, as we've said, it's long overdue, but for way too. Can that fire start burning? Because I mean, I think it has been burning behind the screens or wherever. Now, can it burn on the pitch and get that ball burning and those cricket bats burning and bring that trophy? Jackie, let me give you 10 seconds. What are you watching this weekend?
What am I watching this weekend? World Cup. So I'm going to be watching the T20 World Cup, obviously tomorrow. And then I'm going to be watching some few DStv Premiership games. Obviously, I have to see if that team can continue that 4-0 drubbing. Yes. Then I'm going to be watching the Champions League, where the greatest team in African football plays against, I don't know what that other team is from DRC. No. Please respect us. Yeah, man. And then obviously in English Premier League, I'll try my level best to go and watch the game. United against Liverpool. And if by at least tomorrow, the Man United management don't tell us what Ole has been fired, I'll perhaps not even watch the game. But if they tell us what he's been fired, I'll watch the game.
I
can't do this to I'm not used to losing. Losing is for people like you guys, not me. I'm used to winning. You see, I'm used to winning.
Takes one Kaizer Chiefs fan to know a Man United fan.
Mark, what are you watching this weekend?
Man, I'm interested to seeing how Chelsea plays without a number 9. I think we'll probably play better. I still say we play better when or let me say Lukaku will play better if we're not playing such a high pressing game, because Lukaku plays on the shoulders of defenders. But anyway, the Liverpool Man United game, I mean, Mo Salah is just going to make Harry Maguire look like the 5-year-old he is. So I'm definitely watching that. Even though it's Mampara week, I need to go and get an atmosphere for that one.
What about this team? I don't know. Okay, there is Amakos. What about Amakos? You never mentioned anything about Amakos. You won 4-0 against Chippa United. I thought that.
I'm a broadcaster. I'm not a fan of particular teams. I'm a broadcaster. Me, I enjoy I'm a fan of South African football, sir.
So you won't be watching the biggest game of the weekend in the DStv Premiership.
I'll be keeping an eye on all the games. I don't have a bias against any other team. I'll watch Baroka play. I'll watch the Royal Pisana play. I'll be.
You must also watch that. You must also watch that coachless team. That one at from your rivals in Soweto. That coachless team, which is really struggling.
Yeah, the coach's fault. But anyway, I'll be watching that, and man, I'll be checking in on the cricket. I think it's going to be very interesting. I will be at work at the time the cricket plays, but I think I'm gonna steal a few seconds and go watch it at the back. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I need to ensure that I'm prepared for the weekend.
Most definitely. Apart from everything that y'all will be watching, I think with me, I'll be working as well tomorrow, so I won't be able to see. I think on Twitter, maybe I'll just side check what's going on between Australia and the Proteas. But apart from that, I'm looking forward to Sunday's race, Formula One, of course. There's the United States Grand Prix, and I mean it's been an interesting year rather to talk about. When we look at Formula One, it's a battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. It's a battle between Team Red Bull and Mercedes, and this battle, it looks like it's gonna go down to the wire, and we'll see what's gonna happen. But at this moment in time, it looks like things has been favoring the likes of Max as he's leading the driver's seat. But it's an interesting year 2021, battle between Red Bull and of course Mercedes. So I'm looking forward to that Grand Prix, which is the United States Grand Prix, which will take place of course on Sunday. Apart from that, I think soccer. If it interests me, I'll try and watch I do watch local football, so I'll try and watch and see which teams do I watch.
You don't want to say which team you're going to watch, but it's fine.
I wanted to ask you how. Well, I wanted to ask you. You said you're working. What are you doing? Are you shooting a film? Are you
need to ask.
A radio show? Are you starting a new podcast? What are you doing? What are you the work? What's the work? You've been busy these days. What are you doing?
You all firstly should congratulate Una. I mean, his team is leading right now 2-0. Arsenal.
Hey, that one.
I'm gonna blow the lead anyway. We don't watch Arsenal.
We really understand why he's not here.
We don't watch bottom half teams.
To answer your questions, I'll be working. Well, I'll be taking pictures tomorrow, photographer.
Hey, you could have just said you're taking pictures.
Because multi-talented.
Hey, when you do everything, bro. I'm sure when you're going to be a producer, because people are producing out there.
What music?
Yeah.
I tried, it failed, right? Well, I didn't try, but it's not my thing.
Don't worry. I'll bring my DJing equipment. Will produce something.
Now that can work. That can work, but it's producing. It's not my thing.
It's not gonna work. I foresee trouble. You're like
unless if I introduce a new genre, maybe.
Limpopo funk.
Okay, guys, I think we've come to an end of our episode. It was fun to talk about the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, which is starting tomorrow, and hopefully by the next couple of weeks, we're still going to talk about it and see how the Proteas will be playing. And if you have anything that you wish to comment on, you can send those comments on our Facebook page. That's the Banter Club SA. On our Twitter page is at the Banter Club SA. Instagram at the Banter Club SA. Remember to use the hashtag the Banter Club SA. Apart from that, you can get this gentleman there. He's at JM_Libya. You can see his Twitter account there. And I'm not sure about this guy, Mark. Are you at the Better Club SA subscribe or what? It looks like your handle is not there. What's happening?
No, it's very simple. It's KM and then underscore and then I think I'm going the wrong way. It's KM underscore and then Mapori. It's like Maporisa, just without the SA. Yeah, you stole my name, but it's okay.
You have to fix your Twitter handle. And me, as you can see it right there, it's at Mohau Moshapo. That's on Twitter. If you have anything you wish to comment on or to that you wish us to discuss on our weekly dish, you can send those comments on our Facebook page, Instagram, and of course a Twitter page. Apart from that, you can send WhatsApp voice note on 0649000947. And I mean, if you likely, we're likely to play that voice note live on our platform. I think that's it, guys. Do you still have anything you want to say?
Hi, Protea Fire. That's all I can say. Protea Fire.
Keep the Protea Fire in.
Jakey, you are cold. You are hot. That breathing.
No. Just because I'm not. The thing is with me, I'm a realistic person. You know, when you're a Sundowns fan, you know when you're. Well, Sundowns fans are very sure about something sometimes, but when it comes to.
Huh? I thought we were talking about Protea. How did we get
No, I'm just saying. You need to be realistic at the same time. Or we need to be realistic. The thing is with you guys, is that you're so used to losing. You're so used to your heart's been broken. Well, now I'm not used to that. I'm always winning. You get me?
Jackie, just remember, you are a Manchester United fan. Do not say we're used to losing and you're not putting yourself in that sentence.
Yeah, but my bro, you can't be talking about Manchester United and Kaizer Chiefs. It's not the same in WhatsApp group. United at least is doing something. We say direction, a little bit direction. Kaizer Chiefs are on the same direction. You beat Chippa United 4-0 and you say that Amakosa Jabulile, Amakosa is back. Yeah, ne. Gabuza will remind you on Sunday.
But nothing
Bopa.
Mark, any last word from you?
No. Yeah, enjoy the weekend, fam.
Yeah, I think that's all we had for you guys on the Better Club. Thank you very much, gentlemen, Mark, Jakey, and of course myself, Mohau. I think we'll meet again on our weekly dish. And just so you know, we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So yeah, serious, ne? Goodbye.